Good day. Today I will be giving a presentation with regard to marine fish stocks, specifically in the USA, and discussing the problems, policies, and solutions thereof. Tragedy of the Commons. This is a situation whereby a shared resource system has individual users acting independently according to their own self-interest and tend to forget about the common good of all other users. This leads to the depletion of a resource. With regard to marine fish stocks, people tend to take part in overfishing, which leads to resources being used up quicker than it can be regenerated. This slide considers the impact of using unowned resources. Before fishing, there may be sufficient stock. Humans tend to fish much more than what they actually need. After fishing excessively, fish stocks may decline rapidly because of the demand thereof. Therefore, the supply of overfishing is much less than what it used to be before overfishing took place. But the demand to fish will still be high, as it previously would have been before the overfishing took place. Therefore, there would be a huge demand of fish, but not enough fish in the ocean. Therefore, fish may eventually be used up if measures are not put into place with regard to these resources being abused. Unowned resources. When resources are owned, the farmers of a particular resource may be incentivized in the form of payment and is therefore motivation to maintain stocks. Because fish is an unowned resource and therefore does not belong to anybody, there is no motivation to maintain stock for the current demand or to ensure that there may be more for the future. Humans tend to be quite selfish in this way. Slide 6. Potential solutions for the tragedy of the commons. The three solutions are command and control, cultural norms, and property rights. With regard to command and control, the aim is to allow a shorter time for fishermen to actually physically fish. But there is a consequence because of this. Fishermen tend to make up for shortened time with better equipment, bigger boats. The second one is cultural norms. The aim is to socially disapprove abusers. So basically not to shun abusers in the community, but to disregard them as sufficient human beings. The failures tend to be that it's unrealistic for long periods of time, because of greed possibly. And the third one is property rights. The aim is to own rights for a specific number of fish. But the failures in that are that fish and marine stock tend to migrate all over the world into much further places than a specific area that it may hold for fishermen. In this diagram, it shows exactly what catch shares are. Each person or an institution is allowed to have a percentage of a catch or an area to harvest. So each person may get 10%, 10%, 10% of a catch, and therefore it's distributed evenly among people. And it attempts to keep sustainability of the fish stock and allows for people to not have more than what they actually need when they are fishing. Solutions to the marine stock fish collapse. Catch shares result in command and control, responsible fishing, and the implementation of individual transferable quotas. We will now discuss these in more detail. Issues with these solutions. Firstly, we'll be discussing command and control. This is basically when fishing companies would be prevented from fishing every day. Set days for fishing may be implemented as a method to maintain fish stocks. This method tends to be insufficient because fishing companies tend to make up for lost fishing time by getting bigger, better equipment and better fishing vessels to catch all the fish they would have lost if they had their old equipment. Next. Second, responsible fishing. This method is basically putting the responsibility of sustainable fishing to individuals and fishing companies. Surely, if this had to be an official method, offenders who take part in non-sustainable fishing methods may face various consequences with the law. But that's only if they get caught. Humans are therefore too greedy to take part in responsible fishing due to selfishness. And as earlier mentioned, not taking the greater good of others into account. ITQs. These tend not to have any major shortcomings and is therefore the most effective solution to this overfishing epidemic. ITQs allow for fish stock to recover over time. Government regulates fishing. It allows for fishermen to harvest a certain amount of fish each year. ITQs do not have no problems, but it is effective and something needs to be done in order to maintain sustainable fishing methods. Thank you for listening to this presentation. It is now evident of how important it is for methods to be implemented to reduce overfishing because it clearly has serious consequences. Thank you.